Hey, what up, guys? Wicked Specialist, aka Real Geek here today, talking to you about something a little bit different than usual. Usually I'll do a movie review, or I'll be talking the occasional TV show or comic books, some wrestling. But today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm talking about an album, hip-hop album, that references all those things that I love and that you love, because that's why you're watching this stuff. It's from General Vega. The album is Geek Mobb. I was actually contacted a few days ago to go check this. He contacted me on Instagram a few days ago to go check out the album. He liked my review, so he wanted me to do a review for his album, which came out last year. It's available on all streaming platforms. So I'm going to go check it out. Little background on me before I get into there, because I haven't talked about this side of myself. Grew up in the 80s and into the 90s, where I discovered hip-hop and just how fantastic the genre is. I grew up on Wu-Tang and Tupac and Biggie, and the 90s were like the best decade for hip-hop in my opinion. The best wordplay, the best flows, the best beats. It all came from that era. That was one of my favorite parts of hip-hop, is the wordplay aspect. One of the things that I studied myself when I got deep into it in college in the late 90s, when I was doing a little bit of amateur rapping myself, basically doing nerdcore before I even knew that was a thing. I was sitting there in the ciphers, and they were like, well, just write what you know, write what you know. And I was like, well, what exactly is it do I know? I don't know. I don't have a hard life. I'm not on the streets. I'm not any of that stuff. What I am is a kid from the suburbs who likes comic books and hip-hop and all this stuff. So, alright, comic books and movies and TV shows and video games. So I started connecting dots here. I started putting one reference here, one reference there, tying it together, making a nice train. Like I said, basically doing nerdcore before I even knew nerdcore was a thing. And that, the nerdcore blew up, and that's its own great subgenre of hip-hop as well. And General Vega takes his own stance on that, his own style on that, basically attacking nerdcore from a straight hip-hop standpoint, which is a unique way to do it. I dig the hell out of it. His flow at times reminiscent of Tech 9. When he's at his best, when like the first few tracks on the album, King of the Geeks, Weirdo, Lambda Lambda Lambda, Outsiders, when he's working at its best, the references are flowing in a great manner. Like, you're loving the wordplay, the connected tissue, and the samples and everything, and the beats, and it's just working well at its best. There are a few tracks on the album where it just feels like Kaboom was one that I felt where the flow is not quite as good, where it's just kind of like, I'm just going to spit off a bunch of references to things that I know, things that you'll know, and over a beat, but there's no connective tissue there, and that's where it kind of loses you. It's kind of like Ready Player One at its worst, when it's just, hey, remember all this stuff, and there's nothing behind it. But when it's at its best, and the majority of the album, I would argue, is this aspect, where it's a new style. I mean, I would say it's arguably a new style. It's hip-hop for nerds, not like nerdcore, like its own thing, but it's like straight hip-hop, straight, pure, unadulterated hip-hop for nerds, for those geeks, and it's fantastic. Definitely go check out the album when you get a chance. It's available, like I said, on all streaming platforms, your Spotify's, your Apple Music's, your titles, what have you. You can also go to generalvega.com. He's got some sweet merch. You can go check that out as well. Go check the album. The album is Geek Mobb. That is it for right now. Till next time, guys, as always, stay geeky.